So welcome everyone to the group chat brought to you by Overmark. I'm Darrell and with me is Xin Wei. Today the topic we're going to discuss is how do you make friends as an introvert? So for all our fellow introverts out there, maybe today's episode is something that will be fun for you. Even if you're extroverted, whatever, man, just listen in for our introvert folks. So just for disclaimer, right? Me and Xin Wei, we did our MBTI test. So maybe we could share where we are on the spectrum, so we can speak from our real experience. So for myself, I'm a very clear-cut introvert. I mean, I do not know whether you all feel that. The interesting thing is that a lot of my students think that I'm extroverted, but maybe it's just because I'm like the teacher, then I need to talk a lot, then they think I'm extroverted. Xin Wei, what about for you?
I am definitely an extrovert, but definitely an extrovert. I think I'm a higher than average extrovert.
So I'm just super curious because pre-pod we were discussing, right? Then you thought that I was an extrovert. Can I just this is just for me, okay, not for the listeners. I just want to know like what made you come to that conclusion?
I mean, so Darrell and I actually do have to work together a bit, and even though we teach different subjects and everything, right? So I always thought that you could present your points, and then you could just talk to people, interact with people. Like our group is not the tutor group is not small, so it's not just the two of us. There are a lot of other tutors that you have to handle. So I just thought that, and I saw you teach before, so.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so that's just me lah. But okay, that's not today's topic anyway. But maybe I can talk more about that because I'm an introvert. But how did I come to this point in which I could behave like an extrovert? I think that's pretty interesting. But maybe we put that towards the more end part of the podcast. So I think this podcast is just for me to share because I'm the introvert here, right? So anyway, it's just there to say, yeah, you're right. Okay, but at least for me during my schooling days, I felt that it was, honestly, I didn't really find it difficult to make friends. I have to be clear here. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a few close friends. And I always keep my close friends close, right? But then if anything, should there be a need to make new friends, I usually take very long to warm up to people. I usually don't say hi first, that kind of stuff. I need some time to build the rapport before I hit on. But once buddy, right, I'm buddy all the way. Xin Wei, from your own experience interacting with introverts, right? What do you think worked best for you when approaching introverts? How do you make friends with them?
Carry the conversation. I think introverts sometimes they I think I have many introverts friends. And I think when I talk to them, usually in general, because my personality is also more bubbly and high energy, I think it can be infectious. So I think that works. And usually I would try to find things that I'm more interested to talk about, they are interested to talk about, instead of just making random small talks. I think introvert hate small talks. Yeah.
I think for me, I really appreciate it when an extrovert actually carries the conversation or starts the conversation, because I find it very difficult to do so. This is a real thing. So even right now at my age, right, I struggle to ask the waiter or waitress for something. That is inside me. I can't I'm damn paiseh. I don't really even though I really need a piece of serviette, right? I won't feel comfortable asking the person for it. I rather go and take the serviette myself. That's me. So actually these are all moments that I really appreciate if the extrovert that's across the table is hey, sorry, I need I don't like to draw attention to myself. I thought that was something very, even till today, I find it to be really true. But I don't know whether that's just my thing or is it an introvert thing. Okay, but I think on to more interesting point of, as an introvert, right, how do you make friends, right? Now, I think that while it's important to embrace yourself, I'm an introvert, then it's okay, I don't want to be somebody I'm not. But I think it's also about learning to put yourself out there, to be out of your comfort zone. Because if you are for me, right, one of my most evident experience was that when I went on an exchange, meaning that when I was in university, I went to stay overseas for 6 months. So I stayed in Sweden. So there, obviously, you're removed from all of your friends in Singapore, right? I mean, I still had a few friends there that went there together, but generally you're more or less living on your own. Then during that period, I really just went into my shell and like went on full on introvert. Like I can go on like maybe 2 to 3 days without talking to anybody. I'm just like by myself. I cook my own food. I do my own thing. I was like, wow, this is like max introvertness. But then when I not say regret, but when my friends shared what they went through during exchange, it was actually more exciting because they actually went out there to like, go to clubs and like go and have fun with the angmos there and stuff. Then, but I didn't really have the experience because I was like very closed in. I mean, I was just being true to myself. But at the same time, I was like, actually, maybe I should have like learned to step out of my comfort zone a little more. And I thought that that was actually a experience that I reflect upon and I try to actively push myself towards, because I know that I have a tendency to fall back to my comfort zone. I'm like afraid to make new friends, afraid to try new experiences. And I think that that's something that is in some cases holding me back from experiencing more things. So I try to make it a point to push myself out there, even though I know sometimes it might be uncomfortable, but being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You get it? So I think that's my advice to fellow introverts out there. If you're struggling, acknowledge that it's uncomfortable, but you, in a way, just understand that doing it sporadically, it will be good because you are just broadening your comfort zone. And I think eventually you can grow to be an even better version of yourself. So that's my advice for my fellow introverts. So do you meet a similar situation? Do you think it applies to extroverts too?
What you're missing, right, is a extrovert friend to adopt you. When I was on exchange, I went to like travel after exchange, and then one friend, she's also like probably like a high introvert. She followed me. I mean, we are close lah. So like what you say, introvert after they be friends, then they are close friends, right? But they just find it a bit harder to talk to new people. But as she traveled with me for like two, 3 weeks, she met like 10 other people that I met along the way. And then no choice because she was with me, and then these are my friends, right? So she also hang out with them. But after that 2 weeks, she was like, oh my god, Xin Wei, I'm so tired. Like I met 10 people like in these 2 weeks and I'm super tired. Like drained all my social energy. But she had a lot of fun. Like it's not that she didn't enjoy it, but it's just that after that 2 weeks, she was a bit tired, which was quite funny. But I think she said like she will never do that if she never follow me on that trip. But I definitely agree with what you say, because even if let's say there's an extrovert who adopted you, right? But even then, if you don't want to open up, then I don't think there's anything anyone can help you, no matter like the environment is the best, like comfortable environment, or like the people are very nice. If you don't want to open up, I don't think there's anything that can be done.
I mean, there's also nothing wrong with that. I think it's just from the perspective of like self-improvement-ish. Like I try to challenge myself to new things. I mean, I was sharing with my students how I signed up for a marathon. And now that I've made a social pledge on the podcast as well, I can't back out. So, but whatever. But the point is like I try to do things that are out of my comfort zone. Interacting with strangers is one thing. Running a marathon is another. But these are just like challenges that I like to pursue. But I think in a similar vein, if you feel that you're like challenged in certain scenarios, I think just learn to push out of your comfort zone. I think that's something that is like so precious.
I think to me it's not really like, oh, challenge yourself to be a better version, but it's more like, oh, like give it a chance, because maybe this person is someone that you end up liking a lot and can be even better friends, right? I mean, if you really don't like, then no, you are not committed to like continue hanging out with these people also. But what if they are like, wow, soulmate, like wow, you have the similar interest, have the same hobby, then wow, you gain a friend. That's not a bad thing as well.
See, I just wanted to dispel this myth. Tell me whether it's true or not. Right? Do extroverts really have a lot of friends? Or is it like close friends, or like?
I think close friends, honestly, I think it's probably the same. I think a human being is only capable of keeping this many close friends. I doubt introvert and extrovert have because we only have 24 hours. I think it's more like a time thing. But if you say acquaintance, maybe the extroverts will have more acquaintance.
I see.
But close friend wise, I feel like introvert, extrovert have the same amount, because I don't have this energy. I don't have the enough time or energy to go and maintain very like many close friendship. That takes effort, I feel.
So I just want to understand if this is true, right? Because like from my own experience as an introvert, right, I do like meeting people, but if I meet too many people, I'll feel very drained out. Is it true that for an extrovert, when you meet people, you feel more energized instead? How does that work?
I don't feel energized, but I don't hate it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't feel energized, but I will never feel like, oh, there are 20 people in this gathering, I think I'm out. Like, I have friends who are like that. Like, oh,
That's
there's
me.
10 plus people, 20 plus people, I'm not going to this anymore. And I'm like, why? And it's like, because there's 10 plus people. And I was like, oh, I that I wouldn't feel that. But I'm also not to the level where, oh my god, humans, I am very energized. I do not feel that way. No.
Oh my god, I can completely relate. There are 10 plus people and I'm not going. It's like I'm so afraid of parties. Like I'm going there to like do what again? Like interact with people and like keep talking. Like no,
Yeah.
that's me. Oh my god. I mean, it's fine if it's with close friends. I think that's okay. But if I'm like new strangers and I need to like,
yes.
oh my god, my social energy, there's only so much that I could sustain. So I think okay, that's pretty interesting, because I mean I never was on the other side of the spectrum, so that was pretty cool. So I think for all the introverts out there, if you're worried about not being able to make friends, actually I don't think that's true. From my own personal experience, just that I make my friendships are all I would say deeper. Like I rather have more close friends than a lot of friends. So even in JC, even though like it was a pretty small school and everybody knew each other, I really didn't make it a point to like go and make a lot of friends. For me, it's like more important my clique, like the bunch of friends that I'm always with. I rather spend time with them rather than to say that, oh, I know everybody, like I'm the popular kid and stuff. Like that to me wasn't important at all. It was just like my circle, as long as I'm my circle and I'm protected in the circle, people protect me, then I'm fine, But I thought that is just one way to look at it. So if you really think, you're struggling as an introvert to make friends, I think, yes, step out of your comfort zone, but at the same time, don't feel too pressured that you have to behave like an extrovert, because you're not. So you don't have to put yourself in that situation. So
actually, can I share like an alternative perspective? Because
yeah.
I'm an extrovert, right? Then I always want to be with people. But when I went exchange, I actually found a lot of peace alone. Yeah, I actually appreciated that a lot. I think that's also when my extroversion like dropped. Because I actually enjoy being alone. I was like, oh, this is a very different feeling. And I think one thing I would tell people is that never be afraid to like eat alone or do things alone, because I feel like only when you are comfortable with yourself, people will be comfortable with you. Yeah.
Wow, you stole that right out of my mouth, man. Like really, like I genuinely feel that way. I think the most comfortable people to be around, the people that draw the most humans towards them, are people that are confident, people that like themselves for who they are. I think those are the people that usually stand out in the crowd for me. It can be any version of yourself, but those are the people that exude self-confidence, as like they just are so comfortable in their own skin. I think those are usually the kind of people they are most drawn to. Not necessarily the extroverted ones, right? But it's those that are being true to themselves. They are not afraid to express who they are. I think those are the kind of people that you would find have the most friends in that sense, I guess. So I thought that's pretty good, interesting. I mean, so for those of you who have no idea whether you're an extrovert or introvert, a very simple
take an
way,
MBTI test.
yeah, you just need to go and Google, right? MBTI. You're able to take a simple personality test. I think it'll take you like 10-15 minutes at most.
Yeah.
I think it's 100 questions or something. You're actually able to get even more detailed than whether you're just an E or an I. They actually tell you other aspects of your spectrum. And I thought that was pretty interesting because it helps you understand yourself a bit better. So it's just like they will ask you some questions and you just have to answer. I think actually nowadays, I think most people do know their MBTI. So I think it will be helpful. But the interesting thing you observe is as well, this is super interesting, that it actually changes over time. So like Xin Wei was sharing like her extrovertedness dropped. I think my introvertedness increased when I grew older / COVID happened. then I think those are all changes that will happen. Then I also think that, depending on sometimes who you think you are, you might try to, you might answer questions differently and it gives you a different outcome. So honestly, as you grow older, as you know yourself better, actually the whole spectrum changes. I don't think there's one that's better, right? There's definitely no extrovert better or introvert better, right? It's really just who you are, right? So sometimes it's also learning to accommodate to the other party. For example, if you're hanging out with an extrovert like Xin Wei, right? You might just want to learn to tag along and like just go with the flow, right? Instead of like, no, right? You just go with it. But if you're hanging out with an introvert, maybe sometimes as an extrovert, you can learn to maybe like just scale back and then just let the introvert like surface, and then like that finds a good balance. I think that's just basic human interaction, man. So any last thoughts on this topic?
I already say just be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, just whether you're I or E doesn't matter. Just make sure you're happy with yourself, man. So that's all for today's podcast. I hope this light-hearted episode was helpful in any sense. But if you enjoyed the podcast, do remember to give this video a like and subscribe so that you can watch future videos when we release them. So see you everyone. Bye bye.
It sound right, boy.